So today we're going to make beef bourguignon, which is beef cooked in red wine sauce. Now, I had a little accident at the supermarket today. I was meant to get stewing beef and I accidentally picked up rump beef today. So I'm still going to make it, but I'm not going to cook it as long as you would cook it all day. So I hope it turns out just as good, but I'll still give you the directions to cook it with the stewing beef. So firstly, we're going to cube up the beef and the bacon and get that frying off. So I've already cut up some carrots, onion and garlic, just so I'm not boring you with that. So what we're going to do is going to trim off any excess fat, like so. And just cut it into little bite-sized cubes. And then I'm just going to put it into a bowl, so we can put some flavour onto it. Phillips has heard a packet of meat opening and he's waiting just under me. Wait for me to toss him something. Well, I've got this mat out. I'm just going to chop up some bacon. So this is all going to get cooked anyway, so I'm not too fussed about bacon being cross-contaminated with beef. And we're just going to slice it into some cubes. So now we're just going to grab our beef and just put some salt and pepper. And then also just a couple of tablespoons of flour as well. And when we brain this off, it'll help make it into like a nice thick sauce when we let it cook. Alright, now we're going to get some oil heating up in our Dutch oven and we're going to start frying it off. So now we're going to get some olive oil into our hot Dutch oven. And we're going to fry off our beef, get nice and brown. And we do it in stages so we don't stew it. Alright, so now we've got all our beef now. Now we're going to get the bacon cooked in there now. See all that brown stuff? That's flavour. So we're going to use the fat from the bacon to start to just stop that from browning anymore. And then we use the onions to actually remove it all off the bottom of the pot. That's just going to add so much flavour on to the bourguignon. I'm just going to add just a smidge of oil still. Now the bacon's had some time to render off, we're going to add our onions. of the chopped garlic. Now we're going to really give this a good stir and start to get all that goodness off the bottom of the pan. And the moisture from the onions will do that. Now the onions are almost caramelised, we're going to add our tomato paste. And we're just going to add it there to the middle and almost just toast off that tomato paste a little bit before we actually stir it through. Alright, that should be fine now. So now we're going to add our carrots. Now we're going to add our beef back in, as well as all the juices there. Okay, and now we're going to add the wine. Now, I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about wine, so I just got this Cab Sav, and I'm going to use that today. It's just a cheap bottle, but sometimes when my mum looks at my wine and she goes, "That's a bloody good bottle of wine." So we're going to add a whole bottle of wine. We are then going to top it up with some beef stock. If you had homemade, that would go fantastic with this. So about 3 cups of that. That'll do. So now we're going to add some bay leaves. I've also just got some thyme from the garden. Just going to pop that in. And the recipe calls for pearl onions. So I can't get pearl onions, but we do have these little pickled onions in our canned dog, so I've just rinsed those and I'm going to put those in. They're not exactly what's meant to go in, but they go really good with it. Now we're just going to bring that to a slow simmer, and then we're going to cover it and we're going to cook it until the beef is tender. And if you want, you can also do this in the slow cooker. So I would probably brown off the meat first and all the veggies and everything, and then put it into a slow cooker and cook that for maybe about 12 hours on low. And the meat comes out beautifully. While it's coming to the boil, I'll just put some pepper, and just put some salt as well. We'll see you back when it's done. So while that cooks, we're going to slice up the mushrooms and get them cooked so it's all ready for when the actual stew's ready. So with the mushrooms, I am just going to take the bottoms off. And just slice them. Yeah, I'm actually not a mushroom lover myself, but I find with this recipe, it's one of those recipes that actually really needs it. So even if you don't like mushrooms, try not to skip them. Yeah, honestly, all the alcohol and everything will cover up the flavour of the mushrooms anyway. So now I'm just going to add just a dash of oil, and that'll just stop the butter from burning. And then some butter. Add some salt and pepper to them. I think even maybe a sprinkle of thyme. That's on the recipe, but thyme goes good with mushrooms. Alright, so now we can turn that off and we can put this aside until the beef bourguignon is ready, and then we'll add that to the beef bourguignon. So it's been an hour and a half. That is now done now. As I said, I used rump steak, so this was going to cook a bit quicker. But if you used a stew and beef, you'd probably have to cook it a little bit longer. It looks really good. Let's try it out. So I usually make this with a stewing beef, so I was a little bit anxious using rump steak in it, but after some research, I actually found out that the original beef bourguignon actually used rump steak in the actual meal. So it actually turns out really good. The beef is beautifully tender. I would have loved to cook it a bit longer, but I was just a bit scared that I might overcook that beef. So I'm going to probably serve it with some scallop potatoes and also some green beans, but we're going to give the actual stew a go. Here we go. I've let it thicken, and I've added the mushrooms as well. It's such a good stew, especially on a winter's night. It's actually summer here in Australia right now, but I actually really enjoy eating this anytime. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I've also got a video there for my Vietnamese beef stew. That is amazing. And then also I've got a cheap taco soup using canned items. Hope you check that out. See you soon.